Pastor Patrick, and welcome to A Word of Faith. Today I would like to talk about don't limit God. Please read with me. Please turn to Acts 19:11. Acts 19:11. Acts 19:11 says, "Now God worked unusual miracles by the hands of Paul, so that even handkerchiefs or aprons were brought from his body to the sick, and the diseases left them, and the evil spirits went out of them." It's amazing, a lot of times people limit themselves. When I first came to Japan, I used to say, I'm bad with names. You meet lots of people in life, right? And being bad with names is not a good thing. And so I started to say, I kept saying I'm bad with names because I'd heard someone say I'm bad with names, but I'm good with faces. I mean, that's really wimpy. If you ask me, if you say you're good with faces and bad with names, that's a talk that you got to change, because we have what we say. We got to be careful what we talk about. But here we see that Paul, he couldn't go everywhere. He couldn't pray for everyone. He couldn't teach everyone. So people would bring aprons and handkerchiefs and cloth, and Paul would pray over these things. They would take it back to the troubled people, the people that needed healing, the people that needed deliverance from demonic power and an influence. They would take it. They would take it back, and that put them on these people, and they would be delivered. They would be healed. The demons would flee because the power of God went through that cloth. I mean, if you go to churches today, they would say, "What do you mean? God doesn't work through cloth and handkerchiefs?" But God does. Don't limit God. God can work through anything. We experienced the Brownsville revival in Pensacola, Florida. It was awesome. I never sensed the presence of God so powerfully in one place. Amazing. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was great. But one of the things I learned there is be pure. Don't watch bad movies. Don't listen to bad music. Don't put things in your mind that are unpure and unholy, but put good things in there. And the second thing I learned is that God is powerful and He's unlimited. Let's read on here. It says in verse 13, "Then some of the itinerant Jewish exorcists took it upon themselves to call the name of the Lord Jesus over those who had evil spirits, saying, 'We exorcise you by the name Jesus whom Paul preaches.'" Verse 14. "Also, there were 7 sons of Sceva, a Jewish priest, who did the same thing." Verse 15. "And the evil spirit answered and said, 'Jesus I know, and Paul I know, but who are you?' Then the man whom the evil spirit was in leaped on them, overpowered them, and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded." We can't limit God, but when we go after God with all we got, and when we have a personal relationship with Him, you are known in the heavenlies. You are known in the spiritual realm. You are a powerful man or woman of God. It's important that we know God and His will for our lives. How do we know God's will for our life? By knowing His Word. His Word reveals His heart, His thought patterns, His deepest. We become intimate with God through His Word. It's amazing. I just want to encourage you, don't limit God. Be open to what God has for you, because He loves you. He cares for you. He has an awesome plan for you. If you're down now, don't be down. Get up. Don't make that weird confession that I'm not good with this or I'm not good with that. Make your confession, I am good with this. So in my case, when I had the issue with the names, what I did was I saw my boss for the company, the big boss from New Jersey, came in from the U.S., New Jersey, and she remembered the names of 12 different people on my team. I was amazed. And so I realized if she can do it, I can do it. And then I realized there's a tool called association where you can say, Fred, he's always in bed, or Taro, the trombone player, or whatever it is, silly things, just to help you remember names. And it really works well. Now I scare people because I remember their names. I come back into the coffee shop and say, "Hey, Keiko, how you doing?" And she's like, "Wow, you remember my name." I don't remember yours. You can see it's written right on her face. We can't limit God. We shouldn't limit God because God has no limits on himself and no limits on us. So don't limit God. This is Spencer Patrick thanking you for joining me on A Word of Faith.